are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am EBONY SsALI. Happy Friday. It is, I'm a little weak. Do I have to project my voice? Do I have to project? Happy Friday. Good morning. Welcome. How y'all feel today? We got a blood moon. Y'all, if you're at home, wake up, roll over. I'm used to the sunshine. So as I was driving in this morning, I'm like, why is it so dark? Why? But look up at the moon. Beautiful, right? Sunshine. Okay. Nope. We're gonna stay focused today. That's the key. But wake up, good morning, take a look at the moon. It's like a cultural shift that's about to happen. I don't know if y'all feel it. We're coming into spring, which is my season. Listen, I feel like a bear. You know how a bear do that first stretch coming out of the den. My hibernation is up. Things will start growing, start blooming. So welcome to Community Heartbeat. Today we are talking about all the things. Is National Social Worker Month. It's National Nutrition Month, Endometriosis Month, Patient Safety Month. So my guest today will be talking about how outreach keeps our patients safe. Other than that, what's going on with y'all? Do you know it's Pie Day for all of my nerds out there? Debo, you know what pie is? Pie?
Tell me about it.
Okay, let me tell you about it. So if you're into geometry, circles, shapes, triangles, squares, the whole thing, you calculate the diameter of a circle by using pi, 3.14. So today is March 14th. So it's 3.14, right? It gets a little deep. It's a little deep. It's like it's in the library, not the library. The library. Okay. Where you're sitting, you're reading. But it's also a day to have pie.
I was about to say now, is it?
So pi, P-I-E, is a circle. That's all. That's the connection I'm gonna make. Pie is a circle. You cut it in slices. They're triangles.
Right.
You put it in a square box. It's way too deep for this morning, right? Like that's levels. But I just want to eat the pie.
Oh, I'm gonna eat the pie.
Listen. Okay. Segue. Favorite kind of pie. Because now listen, I'm judging you. I'm judging you by what comes next. Favorite pie.
I got two kind of favorite pie.
Okay.
Sweet potato pie.
Okay.
And lemon pie.
Lemon pie, like lemon meringue.
Lemon, the real lemon pie. Well, how the black grandmamas make it. The lemon pie with the graham cracker crust.
Okay, like a cheesecake consistent.
But it's lemon pie with the condensed milk and the lemon and
that's how you know when you can cook though, because you like let's talk
strawberries on top. It's fire.
I don't know.
Listen here,
I
just took
better than pecan pie.
Yeah,
pecan.
To me,
I'm not big on cooked nuts.
Yeah, me neither, Jack. No more
already.
Cooked nuts.
That took 5 minutes.
No cooked nuts, man.
No, I'm talking about.
No, man.
You do not.
No more cooked nuts. No, man. I don't want any cooked nuts. No.
It's wild in here.
Oh no.
Let me move on.
So wait, you like the run that way?
No, man. No cooked nuts, man.
No raw.
The raw nuts are okay. I don't know what's happening.
I'll eat them right out the shell.
No platter peanuts for me, man. No roasted nuts.
Key lime pie. Key lime is one of my favorites.
But no nuts. Okay.
No, man.
Let's don't go on the key lime pie.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's okay. Apple pie?
Apple pie is fire.
Are we just gonna just
apple is so common.
Wait,
it's like baseball apple pie and Chevrolet.
Listen.
It's America.
Apple pie.
It's America, Jack. It's America.
Hey, but apple pie is good when it's fresh out the oven.
I mean, hot.
Oh my God! With
got
ice cream,
cinnamon in there.
You gotta do the a la mode then.
You gotta put the ice cream. You must. It's a must. It's the must.
Fresh out the oven. It's warm. Whatever with the cinnamon juices on it.
Listen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's take a moment for shout out to apple pie.
Fat Friday. It's Fat Friday.
Fat Friday. This is a health show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So then we gotta take a walk. So you can have the apple pie, you can have the ice cream, the a la mode.
Let's go to break.
Right. Okay, so wait, do
I'm
y'all
going across the
remember? Look, you remember Baker Square?
Yes. That
Okay,
was the
what
joint.
happened to Baker Square?
Ran out of money.
It's a senior building now.
They had key lime
or
pie.
is that where that corner bakery is? I remember the proximity. I think
On
right
Capitol.
Yeah.
Right at the
Hey,
bridge.
I think it's still there, ain't it?
Baker Square.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's Corner Bakery.
Oh, it's
It
Corner
is.
Bakery
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which doesn't give the thing. I usually eat there for lunch. You know, I have a lunch meeting there. But listen, that Baker Square,
Yeah,
man,
I think I put them out of business.
man. But I used to ask myself, who is here keeping this key lime pie in the front that y'all always? It's always here.
There. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And that's now I know it's Steve-O. I know.
Yeah.
So in moderation, everything is good. I would say for me, I love me apple pie. Warm pecan pie does it for me too, right? Definitely does it for me. I think so. Yep. Or a good cake. Listen, a good caramel cake. I'm here for it. Deliciousness.
Well, if you're gonna go into cakes, you must have.
Yeah.
You must have the pineapple upside down.
No, sir.
Oh yes.
No, sir.
And you cannot leave out that traditional grandma made pound cake.
Now, see, when you said lemon, I thought you were gonna give me the pound cake. Because listen, a lemon pound cake.
And get you a glass of milk.
Listen,
you think you didn't die?
It's night. It's night.
Pie. I hate chocolate pie because it's too sweet. It's
but caramel cake, like caramel cake.
Wait a minute.
No, caramel cake is good.
With the apron on.
We got a celebrity in the building.
Yes, sir.
Since we started off talking about pie, we're gonna segue. We're gonna let them get itself together. Listen, if you're not watching the stream, get to the YouTubes. Get to the Facebook.
I'm trying to tell you.
Check it out, because what you're about to hear is gonna be fun. And then we're gonna ask him. We're gonna ask him what his favorite pie is once he gets all settled and grabs the mic. But today I had events literally every single day this week. So today I'm going to rest. Even my watch was like, baby girl,
lay down.
It's time to rest. You're not ready.
Lay down.
It texted me and it said, baby girl, you need to rest.
Lay down.
Take a nap. So sleep is good. I'm gonna give me some pie. I'm gonna tuck in, give me a massage. Mr. Dye's shout out to Mr. Dye's Pies. Listen.
There's nothing better than Mr. Dye's pie.
Well, get on up to the mic. Get on up to the mic.
Well, you should have brought one to Mr. Dye's.
Since you love us, then you got one in the car.
You got one. I ran into him a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Listen, now his pecan pie. Now, when people say slap your mama, not me. Mom, if you're listening, not me. I did. It could be good, but it ain't that good.
Yeah, you're going to wake up on the other side of Jordan and slap mama.
It ain't never that good. But because you try to write one and see what
good ones this morning. On the
other side of Jordan.
Listen here. It could be good, but it's never that good. But his pies, the pecan, on point. It just, you eat it in the car. It never makes it home. Let's be real. They're like, oh, enjoy.
So
it's not
one for the
home.
car, one for the house.
See, they say that's not healthy though. They got whole TV shows about that. They say you should.
We listen, we don't judge.
We don't judge.
It's got nuts in it. It's healthy.
See, hey, okay. So now we back. Don, do you like peanuts?
Yes.
Okay.
You like cooked nuts?
No more cooked nuts, man. No cooked nuts.
I cannot do the.
It feels like a loaded question. Or do you like them?
I got to tell you a story about Dr.
You got a story about it you want to tell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Dye's pies. Because the first time I ever had one, it was a pecan pie, and I don't like pecan pie.
Right.
Okay.
But it was so good. I won it in a raffle thing. And it was so good.
That's what my dad said. He called me the other day. He's like, I had a bean pie. Like bean pie, you buy them with your final call. Shout out to the nation. He's like, no, but it was good though. Like, I might go back today and find a guy to go get a bean pie. So I don't think I've ever had a bean pie.
Comparable to. I think I'm told it's similar to a sweet potato pie.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta find one.
What kind of beans is it?
I don't know.
I would assume black. Now listen, black beans are like the superhero.
It looks more like
pork.
It's more brown. Black bean would be black.
Yeah,
right.
They look more like pork and beans.
Okay, we gotta. Watch me drive around the city looking for a bean pie today.
No. I don't think it's pork and beans.
No, I'm not saying that it's pork and beans,
Franks
but
and
it
beans,
looked
y'all
like,
are wild.
it looked like pork and beans. You know, that color.
So who's a celebrity in the house, Ebony?
I know. So let's end. Now that we know that he does not like cooked nuts,
Here we go again.
No.
we do have a celebrity in the building. We have Mr. Don Cohen in the
Can we get some
building.
applause? Can we get some
All right.
applause?
Yes. And if you don't know, Don Cohen is fund development at Outreach Community Health Centers, and he is our fearless leader on one of our now annual events, right? Dine with Docs. So welcome to the show, Don. Tell us about Dine with Docs 2025.
Good morning. Well, several years ago, I saw an ad in the paper saying, "You be the chef at Benihana's." So I said, "Okay, let me try this." So I went down there and on Saturday morning, and they taught us how to be the chef at Benihana's. And I thought to myself, this could be a really interesting fundraiser. And I was on SDC's board at the time, this years ago, and I brought them in because what they did was you learned how to cook, and then you had a table of people that you could bring whenever you wanted to. So I did, and I brought SDC with me, the people from there, and we thought, yeah, that's a good idea. And I think we ended up doing it, I think, for 9 years at when I was at SDC.
So it's kind of a community favorite.
Yeah, and then it stopped for a while, and then when Outreach came, I thought, let's resurrect this thing. And last year we just had an absolute ball with it, and hopefully we're booked up this year, so we should have a great time again this year. But I got to tell you, a small Milwaukee thing with Benihana's this year. I went down a month ago and met with the owners to make sure everything was okay. And while I was sitting there, they said, "By the way, we sold the place." And I went, "Oh, that's not a good thing." Now I got to renegotiate.
I got an event, and you sold the place.
Yeah, I sold the place, but we're helping him transition to the new owner. So a few minutes later, in walks a gentleman, and it turns out he's a good friend of mine. His name is Navi Gill. And I met him at the Sikh Temple many years ago after the horrific shooting that happened there. We did some projects together. We did a 6K run and stuff, and we have remained very good friends. And Pardeep Kalika, who also from the Sikh Temple, his father was one of the ones that was shot. He's going to be there. He's going to be the judge, one of the judges.
Oh, Pardeep will be there.
Pardeep will be there.
Okay.
And Navi was going to give us a couple of raffle items for us, and but it was so he bought the restaurant and the business, the building and the business, so it was a wonderful reunion.
Right. Don knows everybody. Who don't you know in this city? Who don't you know?
It was great because Navi, I was worried about renegotiating everything. Navi said, "Whatever you want, Don, just let me know." I like that negotiation.
Right.
Beat that. Yeah.
Look, no,
And he was great because he called me a couple of days later. He said, we did the upper level last year, and now we're going to have the whole building to ourselves. So
they didn't ask us to do like a preview quality control. They didn't ask us to come and do that this year.
Yes.
No. Did they want me to come and eat first,
no.
just to make sure everything's good? Or
you can,
right.
Well, we're going to have they're going to be all doctors that are going to be the chefs at Benihana's on Wednesday night. They're 14. And if you would like, you could come and while they're training the doctors.
Yeah, I think I need to just to make sure.
I'm here
for the people.
Yeah.
I'm here for the people.
So yeah, we are going to have a wonderful crowd. We got a lot of the residents are going to be there for us. We got some of them that are going to be cooking, and we've got doctors coming from Freighter and from our big sponsors, Ascension and Anthem.
Yep.
And Warren Bullock's law firm.
Shout out to Warren. I mean, it's like a reunion.
Yeah, it is.
That's
all these events are always like a reunion to me. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what's the purpose of the event? So Dine with Docs, what is the purpose of the event besides a good time?
Well, we're going to raise money for our mobile unit, which has always been a passion of mine since I started there. I said that things just got to be used a lot more than it's being used. And
now, I'm going to ask you, what's the mobile unit, Don?
The mobile unit is basically an exam room on wheels.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful unit. We have now the residents that are going to help us out with that mobile unit because we have over 20 residents, and part of their residency is to be out in the community. So they are at different events. I think they're going to be with you this weekend.
Yes.
And they really do want to get out and into the public. And a big shout out to Rochelle Cochran, who is their who coordinates that program, and she's just absolutely fantastic.
Now
I just love her to death.
This is one thing I love about outreach is that it's a team spirit to move forward with pushing people to be healthy. So the mobile unit, it does go out in the community, and like you said, it's a rolling exam room, but it's really there to help people who either can't get to outreach for care or have other situations where they can't make it in to get that regular care. So shout out to you for doing the good work, right?
It's just been a lot of fun. I've so enjoyed. The residents have been there for not a year yet, about 6-7 months, and they have just been taken over and been so helpful. So they do want to get out into the community. They had a lot of fun. We were with them in the Hmong New Year with the mobile unit at State Fair Park, and they just had a ball with everybody. So it's a good time. Also, they're helping people out. So.
Yeah, and they'll be we'll have one of the residents here on the show. We'll be talking about patient safety. So again, it's all connected. It all flows together. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate. Makes my job easy. Is just talking about the things that we do. So, do you have tickets left for this magical event on Wednesday?
I do not.
So you sold out.
I sold out.
You sold out. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yes,
it's a good thing. So people better get their tickets and sponsorships for 2026. Right. Can they call you to lock in 26?
Well, we have another event coming up in June that people might be interested in. It's going to be a dinner detective, a murder mystery dinner. It's going to be at the Hyatt on June 26th, and we will be selling tickets for that as well. So that'll be another fundraiser for us, and it's all goes to the wonderful unit, that mobile unit, because it just it does take money to keep it up and maintenance and gas and drivers and all that good thing. So it does take money to keep it going, and we want to keep everybody active. We've already have Ascension and Mantham as sponsors for that event as well. So we're looking for sponsors for that, and we will also be selling single tickets for that event. We can have, I believe it's 126 people for that.
So they shouldn't wait. They shouldn't sit at home and say, I'll get it like the day before.
No, if you want a table, I have all of the flyers and everything are ready to go. So it's online. It's in our website. You can take a look and either purchase tables. We'd love to have you purchase tables, and we will be looking for some of you to be the actors in this thing. Even though it's a national group that comes in, but they do pick local people that will be part of the show.
So it's like a Clue is the game that makes me think about, right? So Ebony in the library with the candlestick is kind of the vibe of the event, right?
But see and we'll probably have someone that will be have a problem the first few minutes that we get there.
I see. So listen, stay tuned. We need some like ominous dun dun dun.
But I can't do it. I can't do it to Ebony because they would think it's real.
Because it's real. Because listen, it's Tom and it's Jerry. So right now I feel like we're in a look at me but do not talk to me spirit, and I love it because the other people know now in the office. They're like, are Ebony and Don talking to? Not today. They're not talking to each other today.
No, Don's got the broom today.
Yeah, and it's just So some days we win. So right now we're in the don't talk to me, don't look at me phase, and we'll be fine next week. We'll be fine. So Dine with Docs 2025 sold out, but people can still donate.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Yes, please go online, and we have you can donate online. Or contact me. I'd be happy to.
You can always take that money, aren't you?
Oh yeah. and I have my own booth at Miss Katie's, where I have hold office meetings every few days.
I love it.
So I'd be happy to take you to coffee and talk to you about donating to outreach.
I love it. All right, look, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about what's next for the rest of the year for events and opportunities to donate. If you got your ticket, then we're going to see you on Wednesday at Dine with Docs. If you don't have a ticket, you can still donate, but this year you won't make it. So you are listening to Community Heartbeat presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement. I'm EBONY SsALI in the studio with Don Cohen, Fund Development. We will be right back. Welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Listen, we are in here. I got Don Cohen, Fund Development, Outreach Community Health Centers. And listen, Jermaine, Ride Out, Debo, they love them some Don.
Hey, man,
okay.
Listen,
so I feel like
man,
everybody in here is Team Don today.
Listen,
everybody in here is
I give
Team
everybody
Don.
a nickname that I lock with.
Okay,
so
Don
Corleone.
Oh Lord, I'm never gonna hear the end. He's gonna walk in the office.
Don
so you know
Corleone,
I'm the
man.
Godfather.
Don
you
Corleone.
know, see, but now Don's cool people. He really is the reason that I am at Outreach. So he gave a call. He was like, "Look, we need you. Come on over, elevate the marketing." And I hope I've done a good job. But listen, I know I get on Don. I know I get on Don's nerves. Look at him. Look, he is at my neck this morning. We're gonna go to counseling, Don. Can we work it out? Can we work it out?
See, I have this. I'm good at ideas, but I don't do details.
Yeah.
And I need Ebony to do details.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want him to do my details.
She doesn't want to do his details. So this is beef. I'm telling y'all, this is like real beef. Like it gets quiet in our little area when we beef. And everybody's like, you know, when your parents get a little loud at the house and and then the kids get quiet and they start. That's how it is. But Don, you know I love you. I just want us to be great. You know I love you. You know I love you. No. But what I appreciate though, seriously speaking, is that you get it done. And I call him Big Money Don, Big Dollar Don, because he makes sure that the causes that he cares about are properly funded. So I know I give you the business, but I do appreciate what you do. So next Wednesday we have Dine with Docs. It's sold out. The doctors are going to be cooking. And you were mentioning that we have residents that are coming to cook too, right? Okay. So tell me why you love the residents. I know why I do, but tell me why you love them so much.
Well, because they really want to learn. And I mean, they're really out there. They're trying to learn the community, not just the becoming a doctor, but becoming a family doctor, becoming a community doctor. They're a lot of them are immigrants themselves. So they like working in the communities. They love meeting new people. And they've just been so cooperative, so energetic out there in working with the different events that we're doing, and they're having fun at it. You know, and that's the most important thing to me is that you have a good time and you understand what you're doing and you're learning. You know, I always ask. My dad was a doctor, and I always asked him. I said, "Why do you always say practicing physician?" And he says, "Because we never learned it all." And I love to see that, and especially the younger doctors that are coming in. They're so hungry for knowledge and for to learn more about the community. And even Rochelle, who's running it, she just I take her to a lot of different events and things, and so she can learn the community because there's so many different parts. We have the Asian community, we have the African American community, the Hispanic community, and I'm very involved in all of them. So it's to me it's a lot of fun. I've learned so many different cultures and events to going on that it's just fun for me.
No, I appreciate that. And they really do get it done. So Rochelle's been on the show a few times as well, their program manager, to just help coordinate and make sure that the residents are following their curriculum. But just to know that not only are they learning, but they are all physicians. So I like to say that these are not like people who are training to be doctors. They already are doctors. What they're training for is their specialty. So if you think about the podiatrist or the cardiologist dealing with your heart, or the female doctor, right? OB dealing with those issues that might come with gynecology. They're figuring out which specialty they're going to attach their life's work to. So I appreciate that. Just as professionals learning their craft. I dig it a lot. And we will have a resident on the show in the second hour. So stay tuned, get a second cup of coffee, and talk back to us this morning. 414-444-5250 is the number to call to connect. Don, if people want to have the mobile unit stop by their business, can they call you and will you help them coordinate that?
Yes, sort of.
Okay. Tell me what that means. Tell me what that means.
We're working on putting that together. We do have someone that is in charge. Kaylee is in charge of the mobile unit, and she's got back from maternity leave, so she's kind of jumping back on board things, and we're trying to get to figure out how we can do this better.
Okay.
And more efficiently, so that we can get out in a lot of different neighborhoods. So it's a work in progress. Give me a lot of time if you are going to do something. Give me as much time. We can't just say, I need it next week. It's just not going to happen.
But with that, I will say one of the conversations we've been having at Outreach is that we are available for primary care. So if you have been dealing with issues, you can get an appointment in the clinic next week.
Absolutely.
Right? So you can give us a call at 414-727-6320. You can make an appointment. And if you need to make sure that your heart's in good shape, if you need to make sure everything else is in good shape, you can get an appointment by next week.
And primary care, you will get an appointment a lot faster at Outreach than you will at one of the big box stores. So that's something that I learned.
Right? So you got to make the call. So there's dental. I understand that dental is booming, but you can still get an appointment in there. So calling the same number gets you in. With all of the recent closures of Walgreens in the area, we have the pharmacy. You can get in. So I'm saying no excuses. No excuses for not calling Outreach, right?
And our dental program is expanded. And so we're happy with that, because we were only a couple of days a week before. Now we're every day, I think, as we're going. So things are moving up, and we're getting bigger and brighter every day. And it takes a lot of people to do a lot of different things in that, because there's so many different tentacles on that of Outreach. And we all try to coordinate with each other, which is not easy sometimes. But
that's why we always got beef, because we both care. Okay, so there's a health fair coming up in August. Are you excited about the health fair?
August 9th. Yeah, I'll probably be cooking for that as well.
Listen, John, you were on the grill last year. Okay, you gonna bring back the grill this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was not my brightest move, but it was fun. But then I made a real bright move, and I gave blood that day. It was very hot. And that was not.
We were dropping like flies at this thing.
And I'm on the grill, and then I went and gave blood. So that was not the brightest thing I've ever done, but it turned out great.
So this time we're gonna give blood before the fair, like a week before, so that we recover, right. But so people will be able to give blood this year at the fair, most likely, right?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Anything else that you're really excited about the health fair? Are we doing the giveaways?
We'll have some giveaways. I'm lining up people now for. I've never been big on doing raffles and things like that with different events, but I'm growing that right now as we speak. We will have for Wednesday. I've got Dr. Joel from East West Healing. He's going to be giving us a couple of acupuncture sessions and a couple of massage sessions.
Listen,
and I know how good he is because he trained my wife and got her through her massage therapy.
Shout out to Caroline.
Yeah, shout out to Caroline. So she's licensed now.
Okay.
But it's it's been. We're bringing in. I try to bring in as many people from the community as I can. Even like he wanted to be a chef. I said, great, let's do it. Right. And his wife is going to come with him, and she's going to be a chef. He did it last year and had a great time. So everybody that did it last year just had a wonderful time. And we had some judges, actual circuit court judges last year, that were the chefs, but they couldn't be there this year. Unfortunately, there was another event that night, which I didn't realize was going on, is the 40 under 40.
Okay.
Which is a big event.
Yep.
And so I did lose some people to that, but we're going to be fine.
Okay. So we got folks judging.
I'm going to have David Crowley, our county exec, is going to be one of our judges.
Okay. And so listen, I'm here for the food. That's how we started off the show.
It's going to be great food.
Yes.
Shrimp and chicken and steak and rice and
but sold out, you said?
Yeah.
People can't even get tickets. Okay. Well, if you're there, say hey, get ready, because we are going to have a good time. Who were the major sponsors that came in to? We just want to make sure we shout them out.
The two big sponsors were Ascension and Anthem, and just before Reggie left Ascension, he signed up for it, and poor Nicole over there is driving her crazy. I owe her big time. And Freighter is another sponsor for us, a big sponsor, and LabCorp, and who does our lab work for us. And we have Carla Cross, who was one of our board, and she's our board chair. She came through with the table, and so we've had a lot of good. The Warren Bullocks and his law firm.
Yes, listen, it's gonna be a time. I will say, last year we had a ball. I got home, my cheeks were hurting because I realized I was smiling through the whole thing. One of my good friends will be there, so it will be a good time. If you missed it, you just got to check it out on social media. Like you just got to see it and check it out online. So
it's always fun, and I always like to do events where we don't have a lot of speeches, because I don't think anybody that's ever gone to a dinner, and I've gone to hundreds of them, have ever remembered a speech that has ever been made.
But we work so hard on those speeches. We work so hard.
But it's just fun. You're going to go in, and the only speech will be to thank people when they come in, and that'll be it pretty much. And we're just going to have a good time.
Okay. So we got that event on Wednesday. You said the health fair. Is the health fair on August 9th still taking sponsors and vendors?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So people can sign up.
Although we have got quite a few sponsors already, which has kind of surprised me, but we've gotten some pretty heavy hitters already. U.S. Bank came in, and again, Ascension and Anthem, and American Cancer Society, and we'll have a lot of. We haven't even started on the vendors yet, or the smaller vendors. So, yeah, we have plenty of room for everybody. We've got our whole parking lot in the back, so it'll be great, and we'll have tents this year.
Yes, and we hope that we get good weather, but maybe a less than 100 degrees.
Yeah,
it's a little toasty. It's a little, and like I said, we were dropping like flies, y'all. I had a heat health emergency. Don gave blood and then was on the grill. So this year we're going to eat well. We're going to hydrate before, all the stuff we tell you to do. We're going to take our own advice, right? That's what we're going to do. So August 9th, mark your calendar, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find out more information on the website. So thank you, Don, for coming in, talking about Dine with Docs. This is good. I'm going to eat good. So make sure you follow us on all your social channels, because you will get to see the good food. And Don and I will try to make up and be besties by Wednesday. We'll try. We will try. But no, I appreciate all that you do. And again, the goal is to get that mobile unit out and moving even more than it is now. So that's the goal. So when you donate to outreach and you say you want that money to go to the mobile unit, it goes there. And then we're here to save the community, right?
That is true.
Make it healthy. So coming up, we're going to talk about the measles crisis. Y'all, measles is back. And we'll talk about what that means. Vaccinations, right out. Vaccination. Aren't you glad you got vaccinated? You didn't even know you were vaccinated for measles, did you? You didn't know, but you are. But you are. Okay. You know why? Because it was required for you to go to school. So you're vaccinated. Don't play. If you tell me, I'm gonna put you with Don. Okay. You said that's your guy. If you tell me you're not vaccinated for me,
that's my dude right there. We ride together.
My dad was a doctor. I was vaccinated.
You gotta get vaxxed. You listen. We're gonna talk about that during the break. Y'all help me. Milwaukee, help me. 414-444-5250. We're putting the pressure on right out. For him to get vaccinated, to be healthy. Don, shout out to you.
Yeah, I gotta get done some hand clapping.
Yeah, give us a Don clap. We appreciate you, sir. We do.
Thank you for having me on, and we look forward to Wednesday. And I'm gonna look forward to when it's over, because it's been a stress.
Listen. Again, I have been going. I think that'll be the last event for this month. for me. So yeah. And then we rest.
Yeah.
And we get back at it in April. So no, we appreciate you, sir. Indeed, indeed. So measles, we got yeah, we've got the lead crisis is back in Milwaukee. So a couple more schools shutting down. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Let me pull up my notes. And outreach is gonna be here for you throughout it all. And then in the next hour, we'll be talking about patient safety. So what are we doing at Outreach to keep patients healthy? And I know it seems like a very small thing, like, oh, you clean up after yourself, but think about this. A little bacteria left around in a medical facility can wreak havoc. So we'll talk about just kind of some of the things that are happening with that, how to keep yourself safe, but then your medications, how to keep those safe. So again, the purpose of this show is to give you health information that you can utilize, whether you have insurance, whether you don't have insurance, whether you have the gold standard of insurance, or you're just scraping to get by. We want to make sure that no one experiences poor health because they cannot afford to take care of themselves. So that's our purpose. That's the mission of this show. And that's what we're going to keep doing. So let me get into measles, right? Okay, measles is back. As of March 6th, we had 222 measles cases in Alaska, California, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Texas, and Washington. Wow. Now, here's the thing about measles. Highly contagious. Highly contagious. So one of the things that's happened with the US is that within 2 to 3 days, people on the East Coast have touched somebody on the West Coast. That's how connected we are. So whether you are on a plane, train, automobile, you're connected, right? If we think about the fact that we're back outside, so COVID is over, we're back. We are connected. Contagious disease. We're back outside. 2 days for you to touch everybody in the United States. We have 222 cases. Now, I'm not like a conspiracy theorist. No, wait, before you get out of here, let me ask you this. Do you watch movies? Yes. You like movies? Okay. But no peanuts. Okay. Just kidding. We're not going back. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, wow.
Favorite movie?
I don't know if I have a favorite.
No. 300 and Titanic. Two sides of the totally different. I'm a lover, but I can go to war now. I can. Like the Spartans. Okay. Where I was going with that is there's a movie called Contagion. Y'all remember the movie Contagion? And it just talked about like how quickly things move. So for me, the vaccination piece is not a conversation like, yeah, does it take it down for a day or two? It does. Is it my favorite thing? Nah, not really. But when you think about how quickly things can spread and how close knit we are, that's why we do it. It's not going to save everybody, but it gives us all a fighting chance. And that's the way I look at it.
The sad part, it was eradicated.
So was polio.
Yep.
So is polio. And these are things that are back. And I think for me, the frustration is that these are preventable. Yep. There is no reason why we should have measles. So just a couple other info points about measles. Cross borders, it can cause outbreaks, and all it takes is people that are unvaccinated, or one of the words that I liked was under vaccinated. So make sure that you get in and you connect with your primary care physician, because you could have had a vaccination back in the day, but you might need another vaccination just to make sure you have that coverage. It was declared eliminated in 2000. And now it's back. Okay. And most of the times it's international travel. Now, listen, this is one thing that we have to do. So get close to the radio, get close to your Facebook, because I'm talking to you. We love traveling. We love going overseas. I love that for us. But we have to make sure that we're doing our part, controlling diseases which are global. So this is not one country owns disease. It's global. I might be in China this week. I might be in Puerto Rico next week. It's up to us to make sure that we're watching out for each other. So please go get your measles vaccinations, right? Because polio's back. Polio's back. And I only say that because I was a Rotarian. Don, have you been in Rotary?
No.
Okay, you should be a Rotarian. Okay. Because we asked, is this friendship? Is it friendship? To my Rotarians, y'all call Donald Cohen, get him in the club. But you have an organization that one of their missions was to vaccinate around the world, give doses. And now we have polio. So I don't want to espouse any political views, but we cannot go back to sickness when we have the cure. That's foolish, right? That's foolish. So in the next hour, let's talk lead crisis, the 3 schools that are closing this week so they can get testing in. Outreach, if you go to our website and click on the tab, we'll keep a running list of the schools that are closing and the fact that you can get tested as part of your well child checks. So we'll get into that a little bit. And then again, that patient safety. How do we keep you safe before you get to outreach, while you're at outreach, when you leave outreach? You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement. I'm EBONY SsALI. Don Cohen in the studio. Thank you, Don. We will be right back. Back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I am EBONY SsALI, and in the studio, I have Dr. Moran Mortazavi. Let me tell you, he's a resident, family medicine at Outreach Community Health Centers with our partnership with Medical College of Wisconsin. And let me just read a little bit of his bio, because when I tell y'all that we have the best residents, I mean it. So Dr. Mortazavi earned his bachelor's degree in biology from York University in Toronto, Canada. Shout out to Canada. He then traveled to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to complete his first 2 years of medical training before continuing his education in Chicago, where he gained experience working in various clinics and hospitals. He's now a member of the MCW family medicine community, where he continues to pursue his passion for patient care. Dr. Mortazavi is also a leader of the Topaz drug trial at Rush University Medical Center and has contributed to projects such as the World Pediatric Project in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He is deeply passionate about both inpatient and outpatient medicine, focused on the continuity of care with an emphasis on holistic approach to patient well-being. And in his spare time, when he's not saving the world or, not running drug trials to keep patients safe and healthy, he runs with colleagues, he plays soccer, and he learns new languages, just, when he's not, doing anything else. So welcome to the show, Dr. Mortazavi. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed. Oh, so we got your bio. Tell me, one of the questions I ask of all the residents, when did you fall in love with medicine?
Sure. I think my story is kind of different. I actually come from a family of all engineers. So, engineers and architects.
Okay.
So it would have been like very easy for me to go that path. But I don't know, there was just something about, the doctor visit when I was a kid that I always, most kids don't like doctors.
Right. Because the shots and the,
right. But for whatever reason, I really was able to connect with my PCP, and visiting family members in the hospital. The hospital environment for me was just, I don't know, I just enjoyed seeing the doctors, going around helping people. So I think that kind of enlightened something in me at that young age. And then during my, as I was growing up, talking to my primary care, doing some just volunteering around the hospitals and the clinics, really connected me with that passion of, helping people. Just, because we're basically seeing people at their sickest, at their worst times, right? And just trying to help them. If we're able to cure them, we'll cure them. If not, just being there for them and just helping them through the journey.
Provide a little comfort if you can't get to the root of it. Okay, so you got the passion, you got the love for helping people, but medical school is not easy.
No.
Right? So what was kind of the motivation to continue in those dark days of this is a lot?
Yeah, it actually took me I guess a year and a half longer than usual to finish medical school. Just because, I was just going through a lot of stuff myself as well. But, you're absolutely right. Medical school is just not easy. But if you have, that goal, and my goal was always to be doing what I'm doing right now. And, if you have that goal and you know why you're doing it, everything else is just it's just a little hurdle you just try to go over. You just have to be consistent and just have that passion and keep going.
So did you approach it like an engineer? I mean, is that still kind of in the fabric? Is like, I must do this process, right?
Yeah. My dad kept saying, if it's not happening now, it will happen. If you're approaching it this way, you can approach it this way, it might happen. So my dad was always there with that, as you just said, that engineering mindset. If it doesn't work out this way, you do it this way.
Try a different process.
Yeah,
try different.
Exactly.
So you talked about the support system, right? That family can provide. I look at the resident team as like a family, right?
100%.
So when you're working with patients, do you approach it like a team with the group? Is that just something we see from the outside, or is that something you intentionally do?
No, definitely. 100%. Actually, I had the same conversation yesterday with one of my colleagues. The thing with medicine is that medicine is never. It's a teamwork.
Mhm.
One of the most amazing things about, for example, outreach is
Mhm.
that we have an amazing team.
Mhm.
I cannot
Mhm.
do everything I do for my patients by myself.
Mhm.
Patient comes, I need to first of all talk to my attendings. I have to talk to my other colleagues to figure out, what is the best approach for this patient. It could be things such as, I don't know, my patient might need some mental health
Mhm.
care, or
Mhm.
there might be a input from a dietitian that I might need. So medicine is just a teamwork, and there's not. That is why we have different specialities,
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
all come together to help our patients. So we have a great team at Outreach, and they help me a lot.
I love that. So there are times where I walk by the resident area. Now listen, they have is it like 20 some exam rooms that are just for you all to
Yes.
utilize,
Yes.
right? It's built out for them. They've got their own reception
And
team
we're adding more.
and adding more because
Yes.
listen, it's about growth. This is the year of growth. But they're always like huddled, and I say they remind me of like Grey's Anatomy, which is my favorite show. I should be an honorary doctor, but they're like, that's not how medicine works, Ebony. You actually have to go to med school. But I love that there's this community vibe. And so every
Definitely.
time I walk by, they're huddled, they're looking at charts, they're really caring, is what it is. So shout out to our residency program. You can tell that there's care there for sure, for sure. Now, in your bio,
Mhm.
it mentions the drug trial.
Mhm.
Tell me, what is this drug trial, and maybe just a little bit of how you got into it and what you hope the outcomes will be.
Sure. During my time in Chicago,
Mhm.
I obviously I wanted to be as much um, included in different things in medicine. During medical school, you try to be as active as possible, because this is your passion and you want to do it. So I ended up being able to be part of this trial.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
called Topaz. It's basically a medication that we were and still are giving to patients with Parkinson's disease. So if people are not familiar with Parkinson's disease, it's a movement disorder. Uh, um, uh, Decrease in hormones in your body, like dopamine.
Mhm.
You start having symptoms such as tremors.
Mhm.
People with Parkinson's are at increase for falls.
Okay.
And
Okay.
as you get older, your bones are more brittle, and then you're more prone to fractures.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our goal is, by giving this medication to our patients, it will eventually help them with their structure of the bone, so they're less susceptible to fractures if and when they fall.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was, that's the goal of the trial, and I think the time that I got into it, it was at the beginning of the whole process,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we were enrolling patients, and it was so just talking to patients, educating them about why the drug trial is there, what the drug does, and at first you would think they might not just be interested, but
Right.
then you
Right.
realize, as you start talking to them and you go into details as why we're doing this, educating them. Um, as what the benefits could be, because remember, all these drug trials, it could work, it could not work,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So and they were very passionate about it, and it was just a fantastic experience being able to talk to the patients, and bringing them in, and knowing, even for them, knowing that their input is having such an amazing impact in the future of this treatment for patients.
So I like what you said about like the drug trial could work, it could not work. I think the purpose of the trial is to bring new therapies, new medicines to
100%.
market that work,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
to find out maybe what the problems are or what some of those pieces so that they can be successful when they come to market.
exactly.
Um but you also brought up the piece about um how Parkinson's works and how it progresses and what some of those drugs do. And I'll segue this and try to connect the dots for our listeners. How do you keep people safe in those drug trials, right? So they're
Yeah.
there, they have this condition, it's been identified,
Mhm.
they sign up for this trial. How do you monitor to make sure that they're safe during that?
Yeah. So generally, so I can make this as like a bigger statement,
Mm-hmm,
even
mm-hmm,
not just for drug trials, but
mm-hmm.
specifically for trials. There's always, first of all, if there is a side effect that is, the patient's having side effects that are either new or we are expecting it, and those people will be, you know, asked to stop the trial,
Okay.
and they will be, excluded from the trial, and they will not have to continue with the medications.
Okay.
So we're
So you
not
don't
here.
make them stay on it if they're
Absolutely
getting adverse. Okay.
never,
Okay.
never, never.
Okay.
But in general, the way all these trials or as physicians, even like we make sure that patients are not susceptible, or like they're not experiencing any side effects, even with my patients that I see.
Mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm,
we keep following up with them, at least if this is a new medication, I will
okay.
always follow up with them in 2 weeks and see
Okay.
if there's anything that's going on. There's some things that is expected, and we know that it will recover.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
that's why we do like some lab works. If you go to your doctors, if they put you on a specific medication, they might tell you to come back in 2 weeks, and we'll check your, I don't know, liver functions, for
Right.
example.
Right. Make sure everything
Make
in
sure
there is
everything's
still
fine.
working.
Yes. But in general, there's a lot of both for drug trials, both as individual primary care physicians, we have a lot of checkpoints to make sure, if we're starting a new drug, if we're enrolling you into drug trials, that we are aware of any side effects. And then we can stop the trial or the drug, or switch to another drug, if you need to be on a specific category of drug.
So I know when I listen to the commercials, because
Mhm.
that's most people's experience with
Yep.
drugs, and like they list all the side effects.
Mhm.
That's not necessarily every person is getting every side effect,
Nope.
right? But
Yep.
but I think the way our marketing works now is like, if a few folks have had headaches, you got to include headaches in the side effects. Or
100%.
if a few people have had stomach issues with this medication, you got to put that in there.
100%.
But it's not every patient gets every single thing, right?
Exactly.
So overall, and I know, and I'll pick on right out a little bit of this, because we go back and forth on some of the immunizations and such, but medications too. Not every medication is going to work for every patient, right? So we kind of got to go into it knowing that. How do you help as a physician say this could work? You might have a couple of side effects, but overall, you'll be like 80% better. Like,
Sure.
how do you make that make sense to people?
So I think one of the most important things, in terms of, and I tell all my patients this, that my goal whenever you come and visit me
Mhm,
is to give you as much information as possible
Okay.
in a term that you would understand. And I know a lot of my colleagues might not agree with this, because in medical school they tell us don't give too much information because it might overwhelm the patient, right?
Right.
But throughout, I think, especially like looking at how with COVID happened, and
Mhm,
everything,
mhm.
and the social media, we have so much direct access to information whenever we want to. So this
Yes.
could be both bad and good, mostly bad in today's in today's time. But the way I always do it is that I disclose what the drug is,
Mhm,
what it does,
mhm.
what are the side effects that we are expecting it to be,
Okay.
and what are the side effects that are like red flags.
Okay.
So I would tell
Okay.
them, listen, for example, I'm giving you this medication, we're going to do another lab. You
Okay.
might get your labs on your phone, and you're going to
Mhm.
be like, oh my God, why is my liver
My
functions,
right. For
or
so poor,
my
right.
yes,
Right.
my kidney function is like, there's a yellow check mark,
Mhm. Mhm.
or highlighted there.
Mhm.
So I always say, if you see that, don't worry, I'm following it.
Okay.
If it keeps on going, higher than what we expect, then we will adjust. If not, this is something that's transient. It will go down. It will, your body's getting used to the drug, and then we'll follow it from there. But I think the most important thing within the whole, aspect of giving medications or seeing your patients and diagnosing them with a new a disease, and then going on with another and putting them on a medication. It's just to educate them.
I like that. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm the one that comes with my notebook. I'm like, these are the conditions. I've been tracking it in my app. Like, I'm trying to pay attention to all the things, right?
And the other thing I wanted to say is like all the stuff that you hear on the commercials,
Mm-hmm.
or even with the vaccinations or anything like that. There's a system called VAERS.
You listening right out? We about to talk with these vaccinations. Okay.
So you hear a lot of people talking about a lot of side effects, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you get this vaccine, you have this medication. Oh, I heard someone got their eyes, I don't know,
right,
something.
That one of the eyeballs fell out,
right. So most of these reports that you actually hear, it's from a system called VAERS. And the VAERS system, basically, if you take a medication and anything that happens to you while taking that medication, and it has nothing to do with the medication, but you are taking that medication, and let's say you literally, and it might sound like really funny, but you have, I don't know, a bruise because you hit your toe somewhere, that will be recorded in that VAERS system. So that is why a lot of those
side effects,
and especially with the vaccinations, especially with COVID, those misinformations were coming out because of that VAERS system. Yeah.
So even when we talk misinformation, when we talk about, because I go on WebMD, I'm sorry, every now and then I have a little cough. I'm like, oh, my throat hurts on the left side. What does throat hurt on the left side mean? WebMD, and it's like, oh, well, you have leaky bowel, and then I'm like, wait, what? For my neck, for my and you might have excessive migraine and bruised toe syndrome, and and I've self-diagnosed myself by looking at that. When we talk about like errors and misinformation, where can we go besides our primary care, right? Because that should be the first stop, to find good information.
So I think it's a very tricky topic, because we can Google anything and anything pops up. So I always say to my patients, if you are coming to your primary care doctor, they're giving you a medication or they're giving you anything, ask them why, how, and where.
Okay.
So how, that means, how does this medication work? Where am I getting it? And why are you giving this to me? Because so I think patients think, because they haven't, for example, they haven't gone to medical school, or they might not, they're not MDs or DOs or anything in healthcare, they might not be able to understand. But trust me, our responsibility is to teach you what you're taking in. And it is actually very easy to put those in simple terms. So you can actually go around and, oh, I'm taking this medication because it does this to my kidneys. So it reduces this and this and this. But, some patients are not, they don't want to know. And I respect that. I don't have to. I don't like push.
That's not me, Doc. I'm there with the notebook.
No. I understand, but I don't push that towards them. But I ask them, like, do you want to know more? And if they do want to know more, I try to educate them in that way, because it is very dangerous in today's world to wanting to look up stuff, because there's a lot of scientific quote unquote papers that are out, and even from the websites that we even look up articles, we look up stuff that probably my parents would not be able to look up. And I'm going to say, what, you see that they don't have limitations. If they don't have limitations in a study, then I'm going to start questioning that. So, but it's difficult for average person to be able to go through all these stuff, because you shouldn't be doing that. Your primary care should be doing that. So I think the primary care is the best place to go to. And then if you're following social media, honestly,
I tell you,
just follow the physicians that they're doing their due diligence to look up all these articles and give you the right information, because right now everyone has a phone, everyone has a camera, everyone's in the grocery store,
Everyone's a doctor.
everyone's in a grocery store on
Right.
an aisle, like
Right.
holding up a package and don't eat this, don't eat this,
Right.
eat this.
Right.
So yeah.
And plus I also watched 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, so I'm gonna need 50 cc's stat, right?
Please don't
Right.
follow Grey's Anatomy.
Right. I mean, but it's a good, but I love how you put that. Like medical school, this is training. We can trust that. I think, especially with our communities that historically have been misused, and misinformed. That it's easy to keep carrying that. But I think, especially with the residency program, is culturally competent. You have medicine from a global perspective. You have a care for people. So it's like you're here because you care about people.
100%.
You want people to be healthy. You are dedicating your life to medicine. And I think just with that, you can trust, right? And I'll add a little humor, a little levity to it. If the doctors don't keep patients healthy, then eventually they have no patients at all, right? So it kind of works to your benefit to make sure that people are healthy, right? If you have a question for Dr. Mortazavi this morning, please give us a call, 414-444-5250 to connect. And you have appointments available, right? You got a couple open spaces on your books.
Yes.
414-727-6320 is the number that you can call to make that appointment. So keeping people safe is important, making sure they don't have the misinformation. They can get in, make an appointment with you. You can kind of start from scratch. Doc, what if I haven't been at a doctor in the past 5 years, the past 10 years? Will you at least get me started so I know what I should be looking for? Will you help me?
100%. 100%. And here's the thing. I think people coming in after a long time, that first visit is going to be very scary.
Okay.
For them,
Yes.
not for us.
Yes.
And I just want to say, do not be scared, because that's why we're here. And whenever you start, that's the best time. So if you haven't seen a primary care for the past, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, please make an appointment with your primary care.
And come on in.
Yeah. We'll obviously do a baseline test for everything. So we have a baseline, for example, labs and all the things that we need to know how to approach, your health journey. And then we'll go from there. And, if there's anything that's like red flag or
I got high blood pressure off the charts.
We are here for you, and then we have a good team. Just because your blood pressure is high, it does not mean that you have to go right away on any sort of medications.
Okay.
So
you might tell me to eat broccoli. You might tell me I have to change my diet a little bit.
So I will tell you that, but here's another thing. Okay. One of the most important things in medicine is we have to realize what we know and what we don't know. So I am not an expert in nutrition.
Okay.
I will send you to our nutritionist who will be doing that.
Yeah.
And I will tell you to eat healthy, but she will really.
And you know what? Shout out to our nutritionist, Kelsey.
Yes.
She makes it delicious, because listen, the one thing I'm not giving up is flavor. So I'll eat the broccoli, but it's got to taste good.
Yep.
So some of those spices, some of those food pairings that you can do. So I like what you said, though. It's not always a race to medicine.
Yep.
Like sometimes it's just a holistic piece. So when I come in for that first appointment, because we talk a lot on this show about honesty, right? I got to be honest with you in that first visit, right?
100%.
I can't say that I run marathons, because you'd be like, no, you don't. I can tell. No, you don't. Right. So it's good to be open and honest. If I could only come to my doc with maybe 2 or 3 habits that I have, right? I'm coming up to you for my first visit. I got my list of questions. What are maybe 2 or 3 things you want to know right away to help kind of assess my health?
Sure. So one thing I like to know is if you have any prior conditions that I don't know, or it's not in your chart.
Okay.
So because a lot of times what happens if you're a new patient, I might not even have anything from any other PCP that you've visited. So if you can tell me what your past medical history is,
Okay.
anything that's missing, if we already have something on the chart.
Okay.
I like to know your habits of your just your lifestyle.
Okay.
Do you exercise? What
Okay.
your diet looks like?
Don't exercise, Doc. I love to eat and I love my wine. I love a good steak, red meat with some potatoes.
That's fantastic, but we'll work on that.
Right.
We'll work on that.
It's a starting point.
Yes,
It's a starting
that's why Kelsey's there.
right, right, right.
But that will be the second point, and then a family history.
Okay.
Family history is very important. One of the most important things that we're talking about these days is like colon cancer, for example, right? If there's any history of colon cancer, then our screening will change,
Okay.
depending on what the age of that family member has been when they were diagnosed. But overall, I think I will also add, please bring your medications. Please bring in your medications.
Why is that important?
Because it is. So it's not that we don't trust you when you tell us,
Okay.
but having something in front of us, knowing exactly what the medication is, the dosage you take, and how many you take, or if you miss, let's say people come into the office, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know I had to take this. I haven't taken this medication for 3 months," and I'm like, "Oh, you have diabetes. You forgot to take your
You're
metformin."
right.
Yes. Oh, this is why your A1C will go from this to this. So that's another thing that's I think it's very important. So I think these 4 things, if you can do that for us, that would really help us.
And being honest, right? So
Yes.
if you come in and say,
Please be honest.
right?
Yes.
I've never heard anybody in my family with heart disease, and everybody in your family that has passed away from heart disease.
Yep.
Be honest with that, because at least you can come and create a plan, right?
100%.
So give me an idea of what you might, let's say a patient comes in today, they're on your schedule for next week. They haven't seen you. They're not in great shape. They're not, their numbers are in. Do you give yourself like maybe 6 months, a year to kind of bring that health up?
In terms of from their baseline, so they come in baseline. We have some numbers that are elevated. Now it really depends on what they are, what the numbers are.
Okay.
Right. So if the cholesterol, for example, the LDL and all that stuff is like extremely elevated, there's just so much a diet and exercise can do.
Okay.
That might change our approach a little bit. But if they're just a little bit elevated, then I'll be comfortable with diet and exercise and see. And as a matter of fact, I have so many patients that actually, after talking to our nutritionist, after increasing their exercise regimen, their numbers go down beautifully. If you have you come in with hypertension, high blood pressure, I'll probably have you check it at home, because there's a thing called white coat hypertension.
Ooh.
Which yeah.
Okay, look, that's gonna kick off our next segment.
When people come into the office, they just see us and they get nervous.
Yeah, so, I mean, y'all, because y'all are medical professionals and y'all know our bodies sometimes better than we do. So we'll get into that. Again, you can make an appointment with Dr. EBONY SsALI, 414-727-6320. When we come back from this break, we will chat and we will talk about what the future looks like for the medical residency program. So you're with us for a little bit, so I'm excited about that. So we will share when we come back from break. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement. We will be right back.
Donald Trump is out of control, stopping payments for healthcare
diabetes. So these are all individually
Mm-hmm.
are very important diagnoses to basically attack and getting under control. When they all combine together, no matter if you have Parkinson's or any other chronic conditions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then that puts basically fire on top of everything else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we want to do is to really attack all these problems at the same time, because you really can't control the blood pressure and really forget about the diabetes, right?
Right.
or
Right.
or vice versa.
Right.
So
Right.
what we usually do is we approach everything at the same time, because once you the beauty of the human body and the physiology is that
Mm-hmm.
everything is just a communication. All
Yeah.
of these stuff
Yeah.
are communicating together. So once you start damping down those that communication to like, hey, we're going to calm everything down so the body can recover. I think that's a huge step to make. So no matter if they have any sort of other conditions such as Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
Parkinson's,
Mm-hmm.
um, or not, and they come in with any sort of these comorbidities, we attack them at the same time, and then we'll try to control everything, so the patient can have a better life and a longer life.
I love that. Tell
Yeah.
me this in terms of the kinds of treatment that
Mhm.
what's the most common thing people are coming in for, to be treated for, conditions to be treated for?
Hypertension, so high blood pressure and diabetes,
Okay.
two most. And
Okay.
as you know, high blood pressure is what we actually call the silent killer.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes. And we just celebrated Heart Month. So
Yeah.
I was preaching about that.
Yeah.
We gotta take care of our heart. And I
Yeah.
recently discovered that heart disease runs in my family. So I'll get off the red meat. I promise. It's a process.
Yeah. So the thing is, there's not only one thing that we can do. There's always that question, like, what is one thing I can do for my heart, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a fantastic question, but it's really a hard question to answer, because there's not a one thing that you can do for your heart. There's multiple things you have to do for your heart. We can talk about that. The AHA and the ACC, the American College of Cardiology, and American Heart Association, they recommend 150 minutes or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, moderate to vigorous exercise.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But you also have to make sure your diet is good.
Mm-hmm.
That will be especially with your salt intake.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
that we forget, right?
Yeah.
You could have all the spinach in the world, but the amount of salt you're taking in with that spinach is something that you need to also
Yeah, you can't
count
douse
as well.
it in the
Yeah,
salt and the garlic, but that makes
Yeah.
it delicious.
yeah.
doesn't
But
it?
the spinach itself, if you ever cook spinach
Mhm.
and then you actually put your finger at the bottom of the pot and you
Yeah.
taste it, it's gonna be
That's
salty.
salt.
So it's not that spinach is bad,
Okay.
but
Okay.
spinach is fantastic. But
Okay.
how much spinach is good?
But you gotta cook the whole bag of spinach to even get like 3 leaves left, and then the rest is all garlic.
It's tricky, right? But no, that's the issue, right? That we need to approach, heart health in
Right.
many
Right.
aspects. I always tell my patients, if you have hypertension or high blood pressure, or if you don't, even for
Mhm.
someone without high blood pressure, limit your sodium intake to 2,500 per day, 2,500 milligrams a day.
Okay.
If you
Now
have
break that down for me. What does that mean? Is that like you could have one hamburger a day? Like give me a visual.
So that's actually a very good question, because
Mhm.
that becomes the hard part, because
Okay.
how do we actually are able to quantify that?
Right. Right.
That is
right.
why when I was saying know what you know and know what you don't know,
Okay.
that is why I
Okay.
always send my patients to Kelsey, our nutritionist,
Yes.
because she can tell people how to read labels.
Okay.
Label reading is so important
Okay.
for every single individual on this planet,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you know how to read labels, you know how much of each protein, carbs, sodium, potassium, all these electrolytes that we talk
Right.
about,
Right.
and we end up taking multivitamins for, which we probably don't need because we're not probably
Talk
deficient
to us,
in-
doc. So we probably don't need the.
we probably don't need a lot of these multivitamins.
Yeah.
But then, so that's why label reading is really important. That's why, you know, outreach is fantastic, because we can always refer our patients to Kelsey, and she will have that education for our patients, and then we can come back to this discussion of how much sodium do we need. You know.
So listen, make that appointment, y'all. Do the clean slate, get started. If you haven't been in for care, this is the time to do it. 414-727-6320 is the number to call. Get in with Dr. Mortazavi like next week. Like, do it. You'll start with the labs. You'll know the starting point. So I love that. In terms of people coming with their questions, we talked about that. But you're also out in the community. So you're meeting folks. I know when you talked about white coat hypertension, like they see you and it's official, and they can get nervous. You're at the gathering tomorrow with us. So people can come out and meet you. They can come shake your hand. They can come and see you.
100%.
You're also planning, I'm hoping, to be at our health fair.
Yes.
Right. So it's an opportunity that if coming to the doctor creates anxiety, you want to kind of meet people, know them before you come in for that first official visit, come out tomorrow. We're at Potawatomi Hotel and Casino the entire day. Come out and meet our physicians. Come and talk to them. Strike up a conversation. Now, listen, let me tell you, Milwaukee, get closer to the radio. Don't come in there with your medical questions in your list and want that tomorrow. You got to make an appointment to do that. We will be doing blood pressure checks, but just come out and kind of meet them, learn about them, feel that connection, and then schedule your appointment. We can't do the full appointment tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, because they'll try. They say, look now, okay, well, now that I'm here, listen, do we have an exam room we can go? No, you've got to call. You've got to come into the clinic. But it does give that opportunity to connect. Were you at our last health fair? I'm not sure. I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
Not the last one.
But this one you'll be at, and it's just a time to meet, greet, in like that non-anxiety producing experience. So tomorrow is dedicated to women's health. We're doing hypertension. Is there a connection between women and hypertension?
So great question. So in terms of with women and hypertension, there is the balance of, you know, the estrogen and the hormones, right? That we talked about. There actually seems to be a higher prevalence of hypertension when it comes to women. And that is just because of that difference in hormones that we have.
So it's not because we're more stressed or we carry the weight of the world or we have to make dinner for all.
That is also could be part of it. But
I know I threw you under the bus on that.
I mean that's fine.
But no, I mean, I think as women, we have to make more time for our health, right? Like I know that just myself speaking, I do 500 million things, and then like this morning, I didn't even eat breakfast. So we have to take time for our health. So tomorrow is just a date to do that, right? Fantastic. So tell us what we have to hear tomorrow. You know, eat the broccoli, eat healthy. We got to exercise. We got to move. I won't even say, you know, the vigorous, but we got to move.
Yes.
We live very sedentary lives. So just get up and take a walk and move around.
So I'll correct myself. So the 150 minutes was actually for a moderate exercise. The 75 minutes.
Because I was over here like sweating just thinking.
So or you can have a combination of both.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
But just to move.
Yes, just to move. So as long as you increase your heart rate above what your normal sedentary heart rate is for that amount of time, that's a great start. And then you just got to start from somewhere. Start from somewhere.
I like this. So we're not looking for perfection. Nope. You don't have to. And I know now that we all have our smart watches, we're like, I got to close my rings. But some action is better than no action. A bad workout is better than no workout. If you can do 2 sit-ups in your office, do that. If you can get up and take a lap,
100%.
do that. So get in, make your appointment, 414-727 888-888-6320. Let me go back to my questions. Just make sure I hit them all because you're in here like knocking it out of the park.
Can I just add in one more thing about outreach
absolutely.
and our program?
Absolutely.
So we have both an inpatient team and an outpatient team.
Okay, tell me what that means.
When we do an inpatient team, so when our team is in the hospital, we work. So every month there's a team from our outreach in the hospital.
Okay.
If there are patients in the hospital that we take care of and they don't have a primary care, we're more than welcome. They're more than welcome to see us at our outreach.
Okay.
And that's beautiful because we see them how, in their worst days during the hospital visit, we make them better, and then we follow them up in outreach and make sure hopefully they'll never have to go through what they've experienced with us in the hospital. So I think that connection that we have there with our patients is just something that's it's just fantastic.
No, it is. And I think our outreach is different. So like, again, if you're listening to the show and you're like, it's kind of like church, you're listening and we're talking to you, that you haven't been in, you haven't been taking care of yourself before you get to the ER, before you have a health episode. Just make the appointment. It's like taking your car in. I'm giving y'all all the analogies, right? It's taking your car in for that regular maintenance. It's easier than when you break down on the side of the road.
100%,
right?
100%, yeah.
Right. Really quick before we get out of here, we talked just very briefly about measles. So I won't go super into depth, but in terms of these things resurging, coming back, you do immunizations at the clinic, right?
100%, yes.
So you're taking care of all of the regular ones, the measles, the COVID, we still got flu, all of those. Should I be scared to come get my vaccination?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add something in regards to measles or any other vaccination. So a lot of people might think, oh, I had my vaccination before, or they might not be sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, to be honest, at one point.
Because they come so fast and so quick, right?
And I couldn't find my medical records.
Okay.
In Canada, sometimes things get lost.
Okay.
And my parents.
That never happens in the U.S. I just want you to know. Of course it does.
Maybe. No, probably my own fault. I lost my immunization form. But so what we actually can do, what we call titers.
Okay.
So it's a test that we can do. It's a blood test that we can see, and it's not just only for specific. We can do it from almost. I can say a lot of our the vaccinations. We can see if you've been vaccinated or not. Like for example, hepatitis B, right? Hep B. If you've been vaccinated or not, we can tell you.
Is that blood test? It's a blood
test.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh. So because one of the words as I was doing a little bit of research was under vaccinated. So people might have missed a dose of the vaccination.
Yes.
So the blood test, they can come in.
It gives you a titer, so it gives you levels, so we can see. So if it's 0, so you haven't gotten any vaccination, is it below this like the standard level, or is it below the standard level? So we can actually do that, and we'll see.
Listen, that's even better. So you can come and see just what that level of protection is.
Exactly.
Is that a long test? Is that like 5 weeks to get my results back, or is that pretty quick?
No. It's a longer test than, like, let's say a normal I don't know, like a blood count, but it's just longer by like a couple of days maybe.
Okay.
So
a few days you can find out if you got the coverage, or if you hear that right out. Just a couple moments of your time could tell you if you're protected from highly contagious 222 cases from a disease that was eradicated 25 years ago and is back. I'm just saying, it's a quick test. You just get in and out like an oil change. You just.
I know, but I didn't have time to study, so
you're in and out. You're in and out. Dr. Modazabi's got you. Like, don't even trip. So we got that. The other thing we're seeing here in the community is the lead crisis. We're finding these schools in the area have elevated levels of lead. So the babies are, and I say babies, 0 to 6, are having elevated blood levels of lead in their blood. I understand we do a test with that when the well child check, but how do we monitor, I guess, community medicine as you all are going through your rotations? You're learning about these things. Are you also learning how to take action against these things? And look, I'm hoping the answer is yes, right?
100%.
But
100%.
But what does that maybe look like from the resident side?
Yeah. So I think again, comes down to outreach, right? It comes down to what outreach can offer, not just as residents, but as like a whole program. So first of all, we have to see where all these lead poisons are coming from.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's from the housing situations, right?
Yes.
And we're fortunate enough to have amazing people that can help people with housing when it comes to that. We have a good support system that people can go through and see maybe probably it's the living condition or the living situation or the area that they're in that's causing this. So we have a great support system that it can help them with.
Yeah, it's a team. Listen, so if you haven't got that message yet, outreach is really a team. It's the primary care, it's the behavioral health, it's the pharmacy, it's the dental, and it's that community service. So for the caller who called in about the insurance, we have a complete department that's all they do are the benefits and making sure that you're connected to the right coverage for the right time. And if you don't have coverage, they're making sure that you can pay for the care that you get. So we got you. Dr. Mortazavi, you are the bomb. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your commitment to medicine. Thank you for your commitment to the community. Right out. If I have, listen, we're gonna have to grab you and bring you in.
Yeah, you got to.
It's gonna be involuntary at this time.
First, I gotta study.
We got you.
I'll see you on Monday.
Right.
More like Saturday. You see me Saturday.
You know we're done. 414-727-6320 is how you make the appointment. He's got appointments starting next week. Get in. Take care of yourself. I think in this time and space, we're rallying around everyone else, but make sure that you are in the best condition that you can be. This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show. This is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. The next show, March 28th, we're talking endometriosis and women's health. Thank you for listening. It's Pie Day. Go get you a slice of pie, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. Take care.
Here's your updated forecast. We'll see skies becoming mostly sunny here for today with a high in the mid 60s. Southeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as